Hello again. Yesterday, John shot and killed a grey squirrel in the garden. I was euphoric. How bad is that? But it had been a real pest, eating all the birdseed in our feeders. John left it there on the ground underneath the damson tree. This morning it had gone. Probably Brer Fox had gobbled it under cover of night. The magpies, wood pigeons, collared doves, jackdaws and now crows, which frequent the garden, are also on my hit list. But the squirrel had been our first kill, as it were. I FaceTimed my brother-in-law, who had given us the shotgun in the first place, to gloat at our success. And he told me that his tally was 15 squirrels and 8 rats. I was taken aback, until he pointed out that he did live by a river and in an area of natural woodland. There was bound to be more livestock than in our garden. And anyway, he'd bought himself a more accurate gun than the one he donated to us. Still, I know a friend who lives in our area who lured squirrels into a live trap and then drowned them in a water tub. She wrapped the carcass in a newspaper to be dropped in her nearby wood, also under cover of night. Her tally was 25. This week I've fallen for Netflix. At $5.99 a month, I think that's the basic thing. Contract, should I say, not thing. And I fettled the smart TV in the living room to be able to watch on the big screen. So far, I haven't watched anything. But I've made a list of stuff I might watch if the fancy takes me. For some reason, I like gangster or mafia films, you know, the Godfather trilogy and the Sopranos series and the like. So the newish Robert De Niro film, The Irishman, is on my list, along with recommendations from friends, including something called Witcher, then Stranger Things, something with Ricky Gervais in it, and one with black something or something black in the title. I've also subscribed to The Guardian Weekly and the Oldie magazine, since they were on offer at a very reasonable price. And not only have I read the book, but have also taken notes of the reading group's choice. A Gentleman in Moscow by Amor Towles, Towles. A Russian Count, Rostov, is placed under house arrest by the Bolsheviks. But it isn't a house, it's the Hotel Metropole. And he spends the rest of his life there. His life and times right up to the 50s, should I say. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I'm looking forward to our Zoom meeting next week to discuss it and hear from the others in the group. Talking about freebies, I've also joined a free OU course. Start Writing Fiction, it's called. It is billed at taking place over 8 weeks, and so far, so good. It's fairly interesting. Students post pieces of work, and we are supposed to give each other feedback and follow people we like. But there are so many of them, it's hard to retain enough interest and energy to wade through pages and pages of the stuff. But I have followed a friend and made a couple of positive comments on other work. I'm starting week 3 tomorrow. As I looked out of my window onto the garden this evening, the sun was setting, everything looked pristine, not a dandelion in sight. But then what did I spy? Yes, a second squirrel in the damson tree reaching out to the bird feeders. And to make it doubly annoying, or funny, whichever way you want to look at it, close by sat a large rabbit, watching the antics of the squirrel as it took great big nibbles out of the lawn.